What you mean you was born ready?
For this purpose right here. Trust me.
So you was born to do this right here.
Oh yeah, this and some more.
Say what?
This and some. You didn't have me at the last convention?
Uh-huh.
All that stuff I went through was a resume for this right here.
Oh,
God prepared me for this.
All right.
Stepped over a lot of bodies to get here.
A lot of bodies.
A lot of bodies. God spared and saved me for a reason in a season.
So what's up, man? Welcome to Ain't No Days Off podcast.
How you doing?
Nice to have you, man.
Pleasure, man. It's an honor.
You ain't got to shake my hand like
Someone
that.
who's strong like that.
Yeah, I forgot you being in the gym.
Construction work too, bro.
Yeah. So you ready to get started?
Yeah.
All right, what's your name and where you from?
Well, my legal name is Hanif. All my friends call me Zack.
Okay.
I'm from Jersey originally, but I've been in Myrtle Beach about 15 years.
Yeah, you look like they done ran you out of Jersey.
Yeah, they did. They did.
They did?
They ran me to a good place, though.
For real, Myrtle Beach,
Yes, sir.
South Carolina.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely.
So how was it growing up in Jersey?
Well, I mean, I came from a real religious background, religious family, to the point where I got old enough to say I wasn't doing it no more. I rebelled. You know, I came from like a family of 22 preachers, had 8 sisters and 3 brothers. I always count me as a brother. And a closely knitted family, but we grew up in church all our lives.
22 preachers?
22 preachers in my family.
Whoa.
Probably more now. That was the last count. My mom was an evangelist preacher.
Okay.
She believed in serious spread around, spoil the child.
All right. So it was a lot of so she was a disciplinarian.
Oh, yeah, her and my father.
I can relate. That's how my entire family. You spare the rod, you spoil the child.
Right.
Ain't nothing like anticipating that whooping.
Yeah.
Like you ain't got it yet, but you know as soon as they find out what they gonna find out.
How about getting beat up out of your sleep and father act like he was gonna get you when he wake you up in your sleep beating you.
Man,
1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning.
That's wild.
That's crazy.
So you was in church all the time.
Oh yeah, all day long. We take the picnic basket. We break out of Sunday school. We go to the park. We eat our chicken and biscuits. Then go back to the church. We take a break again and go back to the park and come. Man, we fall asleep in church. I used to get beaten for falling asleep in church.
It was like that.
Yeah. My father said disrespecting God when you go to sleep in church.
So and you know, and growing up in the church, there's 2 places you didn't act up. That was in church and in school.
That's right. Yeah, but I mean, the things that they did in church today, you were like, it didn't make any sense. How do you beat a child 6, 7 years old for falling asleep in church and it's no air conditioning, hot heat, sweating? You're gonna go to sleep. God gave me sleep. You disrespecting God by whooping me like this. You know.
So
I had mixed feelings, man. Mixed messages.
Mixed messages as far as religion goes.
Yeah, for us, this is a good thing. And he's the deacon of the church, and he was held to a high standard. He was the secretary of the church, but yet you beat me like I stole something. I'm talking about not that when we get home, you beat us in church, take us downstairs in the basement, and we be hollering louder than the choir. Oh, Daddy, I won't sleep no more. Oh, Daddy, I won't go to sleep no more. And we come back up embarrassed like this. You know that good cry. Yeah.
And you was how old?
Man, I was about 7, 8 years old.
So as a 7, 8-year-old boy, how did that make you feel?
Man, resentments, bro.
Did your mom beat you like that too?
You know something? She didn't beat me like that, but she got some good licks in. My mom, she didn't have no direction when she hit you. Okay. She hit you anywhere. Across the ear, across the private, anywhere. But you know, it's funny because I talked to my mom about that about 5 years ago. And she said, I ain't never beat you like that. And she started crying like she don't remember. And that's all right, Mom. Maybe it was 5 pop. Maybe what I got a soft heart. Yeah. I said, well, she didn't know. I would never do it. Yeah, because you remember. She remembers. She tore us up, man, because they really believed in that discipline, man.
So how long did you go to church? How old were you
when I left church?
Yeah,
I was about 17.
You were but you were still staying with your parents.
Still staying with my parents. I left home about 18. Never went back.
So, but as long as you was staying up under their roof, you was going to church.
Man, listen, I was going to church. I had a car, and we had to be home before 12 midnight with the car. with a car. He didn't care. Under my roof, my rules.
My house, my rules. House rules. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can understand that.
Yeah, but come on, I got a car, man. I'm working. I'm paying rent.
Yeah.
Dude, I used to pull up in the driveway in the car, cut the engine off, let it roll up in the driveway.
So they don't hear that.
Yeah. And I go in the back of the house, climb over the garage, and I pull the window up nice and slow, just go in my room. One day I got in there, my father was sleeping in the bed, and I hit his hand. He said, "Come on in here."
And it was
my God! And my brother was with me. I said, "Andrew, probably come." I told him my brother.
Yeah.
Dude,
so how old were you when you stopped getting beatings?
About I say about 17, because when I grabbed the belt. Yeah, that was it.
Grabbed the belt, you had enough.
I was like, Papa, can't stay no more.
Yeah.
I grabbed the belt, man, and he's okay, it's time for you to go.
So you're 17, you're working, you got a car. Mm-hmm. So were you popular in school and in the neighborhood?
You know something? We was picked on because we was the church boys.
Okay.
But I didn't get popular until I left school and started hanging out and started partying and getting high and all that crazy stuff.
Yeah.
That's when I got popular, and going in and out of institutions. They just got so on.
Did you get in a lot of trouble in school?
In school, I got in trouble, but I didn't get caught a lot.
So
skip parties.
And so my thing was cause my parents, they were disciplinarians. Yeah. So you only did I only did enough to act cool, but I knew I couldn't do too much. Man. I know it goes down when I walk in a house.
That's right.
I knew what to do and what I couldn't do.
Man, listen, I pierced my ear back when I was 17. I put a straw in it. I did the ice thing, the needle. I did it myself. Yeah. And with the rope, with the Vaseline, my father seen that rope in my ear one day, and he said, "Come here." This one I was 16, 17. I walked over there nice and slow. He said, "Let me see your ear." I went like this. "Don't let me catch your earring in your ear." That's what he told me. Mm. He was the same way with braids. "Let me catch your hair plait."
You had long hair?
Yo, I had an afro. I got a picture of my thing. I had a high and low.
Yeah.
Just get the cornrows. Well, my father associated that with, being soft.
So you leave
and stuff.
So you leave the house now. You got your car, you got a job. Where you got your own place now?
I was living with my daughter, mama.
Okay.
We was living together.
And how did that go?
Oh, for a while it was okay until I got introduced to that white horse.
All right, so it wasn't. So there wasn't no army or no college. Army or college or no
army. What army is 74?
How old were you then?
I was 8.
So you got out the house. You stayed out long enough to make a baby, and then you went to the army.
Matter of fact, my son was a year old when I went in the military. He was born in 73. I went in the army in 74 in June.
Okay, thanks for serving.
Yeah, thank you.
How long were you in the army and what branch?
I was in 6 months, regular army. It's funny you should say that. I got my 10% yesterday.
Wow.
And that it's climbing now.
All right.
And that's when my.
I don't even know what 10% is.
Well, it's a disability.
Okay.
You start with 10%, but it goes up.
Okay.
But now I'm getting kind of teary-eyed because my spouse started me with this.
He started you with what?
He started me with the military thing. He the one told me I qualify, and I said, "No, I only did 6 months." He said, "If you do 1 day, you qualify. You in the military." I said, "Really?" I said, "Okay." Then I started going into VA, getting checked out and stuff. Cause my wife used to always talk about me why I got the TV so loud. I had a hearing problem, didn't know it, and it took me 3 years to get that 10%. Man, just started yesterday. I got it on the email.
So why did you only stay in the army for 6 months?
Okay, when I went in the military, I had a couple of charges on me. If I went there, like weed charges back in 74. I think you can have like 30 grams or something like that. I had less than 30 grams. The recruiter back then, they put you in, they didn't care. The recruiter said, "Don't worry about it. That's 25 grams. That's misdemeanor. Don't worry about it." So I went in. It was an open disposition. So with the open disposition, it was still open. So I had to answer to it. So when I finished basic training in AIT, the mail came to the military and said that I had to go to court for that. So they told me I could either fight to stay in or stay out because they wasn't supposed to let me in with that open detainer.
So you left?
Yeah, I waited for like 6 to 8 weeks. I was like, what you call it? I stayed for 6 to 8 weeks waiting for it to clear. They said, no, we can give you a general and turn the hold up. We can give you a general and turn the honorable conditions, or I can just get out there and don't worry about it. I take the general. So I took the general and turned the honorable conditions.
So you didn't even leave basic training?
I finished basic training and AIT. I was supposed to go to Fort Hood, Texas, my permanent station, but I never made it because of the detainer.
And this was in 74?
74.
And you was 18 years old?
Yeah, from June to December I got out.
So how old are you?
I'm 69. I'll be 70 in May.
So do you remember segregation? Or it wasn't?
You know something? Back then, it wasn't that. I mean, it wasn't not up front.
Okay.
I mean, we started riots and stuff back then, you know, in school with white boys, hippies and stuff. And, you know, we used to fight them all the time because they was real racist. But I don't remember that stuff like my mom remembered because she's from Birmingham.
Yeah, okay.
She's from Birmingham.
Yeah. All right. So now you're at the Army. You got a lot of time on your hands. What are you doing?
But when I was in the Army, I was getting high.
You was getting, you was smoking weed?
Yeah, I was drinking cough syrup.
Okay.
Cough syrup and drinking, I think it was Shapers or.
Yeah, they call it lean today.
Yeah, I heard about that. I'm like, wow, lean, yeah.
Lean.
This was Budweiser and cough syrup back then. We said the Roman tested DM and Novus and DH.
Yeah.
We was doing that, but I was breaking the lockers, stealing people stuff in the military, laying them down on Doughboy Field.
In the military.
In the military. So my stuff started crazy back then. I didn't get caught for that though.
All right, but you're just doing the cough syrup and beer
back then
in the military.
Yeah, cough syrup and beer.
So when you got out,
yeah,
what was your life like when you got out?
I went AWOL twice while I was there. I just got up and went to the train station and left. Came back and left again because it was. The punishment wasn't that great. It was like $75 and 3 weeks restriction. So I said, I can do that.
All right. So you was really ready to go then.
Pretty much. I was getting wound up.
Yeah.
I was on my way. So, you know, let's talk about God doing something for me what I couldn't do for myself.
Yeah.
But after I got out.
Did you go back to your baby mama?
We was there for a short while. But I had started messing with that heroin and that cocaine. My cousin was one of the dope dealers in Jersey. So he gave it to me free for a long time. Then I had to start paying for it. You know how that goes.
Yeah. So you was under 20 before you started messing with heroin and cocaine.
Oh yeah, but I was getting high when I was 15, 16, drinking Boone's Farm.
Yeah.
Smoking green cigars, stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, Wild Irish Rose. We used to get my first high was green cigars.
Okay.
I smoked the green cigar and get
yeah.
And I
went
to the Boone's Farm. And you know, I was dipping in that, but I didn't start doing heroin until about at least 17, 18 years old. Yeah.
You were snorting it?
Snorting, yeah. I was scared of needles. Thank God I was scared of needles, man.
But a lot of people wasn't dying back then when you first started.
No, they was OD. We was bringing them back though. Back then we didn't have Narcan. People OD, we used to put them in the tub.
And the tub run water on them.
Full tub of ice. Pour ice in there and throw them in the tub, or they just shoot salt in the vein. Yeah. Way before that Narcan.
Did you ever overdose?
Well, I was close to I was snorting. I never shot.
Okay.
But I almost OD'd one time snorting. But something said, don't go to sleep. Because I was doing heroin and I didn't feel it right away, so I thought it was garbage. So I did a couple more. The next thing you know, I'm like,
call that creep up on you.
Yeah. And I was going to go to bed, and something said, don't go to sleep. So I got up and I went to my buddy's house and told him what I did, and we did some cocaine on top of that, and we just boxed half the night to keep my heart back, because I think I would have been dead, man.
You would have went to sleep. You would have been dead.
I think so. And that was back in the 70s. No, that was in the 80s then. 79, 80. Yeah, because I was in South Jersey by then.
So you got this habit. You got to have.
Oh man, yeah. Back then, yeah, I had to have it.
So like, were you working?
Back then, I was working doing construction work, believe it or not.
And that was paying for your habit.
Yeah, that and robbing people. But I was cutting hair before I went to the military. I left a lot of that out. And I went to the military from cutting. I started cutting hair in 74 in the barbershop.
Okay.
But I was cutting hair when I was 15 and 16 in my mother's kitchen. But I started legally in 74. But yeah, I used to rob people. I had no problem with robbing people.
No problem.
No
conscious about it or nothing.
No. Because I don't know if you ever seen that movie Animal.
No.
Okay, well, my story is something like this. His dad used to beat him, put him in the trunk. Yeah, and make him mean. So everything my father did to me already prepared me for prison. I had no problem.
So we're gonna go back to your childhood.
Okay.
Was there trauma?
The trauma that I had, the most trauma I had in childhood when I found out my father raped my mom with my last sister. He was married to her. Before that, we used to play sex, cousins and stuff. We used to do all of that. So that thing started way back then when I was a kid and my cousins was older than me. And you the mommy, I'm the daddy, and you go there hide and go see, Yeah, so we went there. I never, penetrate none of it. They never penetrate, but we touchy, feely. Yeah. And one time my cousin made me kiss her down there. I said, "Oh, it smells like camel soup." Boy, shut up. Get over it. Oh, no, it's what I do in the face. It's like, so I started, old folks call that being fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, my cousins.
So do you think so you think your behavior started young?
My behavior started way before that. I used to steal candy from the candy store. 7, 8 years old. My glove, put candy in it. Put the squirrels, the kids, just to get away with it. It was the thrill of getting away with it.
Getting away with it, and not getting in trouble.
Yeah. That was the thrill.
I can relate. So now, so you was talking about being beaten. There was a lot of beatings.
What? I got beaten so much I stopped crying. Got used to them.
But it wasn't like what? Cause it's a line between getting discipline and whooping and abuse. Do you think it was abuse?
Come on, I know it was abuse. Got webs on my butt, bleeding. My father kept beating it until it bust. You tell me, it was abuse. Dude, I had resentments. Yes. Yeah, I grew up hating my father. I used to pray to God to kill him. I used to pray to God to take up. That's how much I hated my father. And it's funny because when you go to jail, they do a psycho evaluation, and they ask you different things about people in your family. And they say, "You got any brothers or sisters?" I say, "Yeah." They say, "How many?" 8 sisters and 2 brothers. "Do you love your brother and sister?" I say, "Yeah." You got a mom, right? "Yeah." "Do you love your mom?" I say, "Yeah, of course." "How about your father?" I couldn't even answer it. And every place I went to, they asked me about my father. I couldn't answer it, man. That was one of my biggest problems. And when I found out that he raped my mom and busted her stitches, when she came home from the hospital, she was sewed up, and you can't do that for 6 to 8 weeks. He busted her stitches, man. Good deacon in the church, busted her stitches.
Your father.
Yeah.
Good deacon.
That's another thing that turned, and there's no disrespect to church, but there was so many things that was happening in church that I seen right under my, Stevie Wonder could see it. But in the name of God. I'm talking, my mom told me my dad didn't even come home on his honeymoon. So there's a lot of things that my mother told me about my father growing up that made me have resentments and dislike him, man. I wanted to take him out, man. I'm telling you.
Well, was your dad an alcoholic or addict?
No, he was a Bible thumper to the point he was intoxicated by the Bible. misunderstanding of the word. My father never smoked, never drank, no nothing, man.
Like a religious zeal.
Yeah. People used to give him bottles of liquor and stuff for my father did construction work. And he had it piled up in the house. Never drank. I used to take it out. I used to bust the bottle, drink some, pour water, have a water in it.
So did you ever see him beat your mama too?
No, hell no. What? I wish a nigga would. Never saw it.
So
Never saw
how
it.
many brothers and sisters do you have?
I got 2 brothers and I got 8 sisters. My father was married twice. My mom has 6 girls and 3 boys.
How many of them siblings was living in the same house as you?
All my life, it was 6 and 3.
So it was 9 of y'all in one house.
Yeah.
So all of y'all got beat the same?
You know something? I never seen them beat the girls. Never. My mom tear that ass up, though.
But the boys?
Oh, what? He beat the brakes off us, man.
Okay, so it wasn't like he was signaling you out.
Oh, no. Well, I got the most because I was the most devious. I always try to get away with shit.
Were you the oldest?
No, I got a brother older than me that don't even speak to me. He's
Okay.
crazy. He lives in Greenville, Anderson. He's Jehovah, so he's on another planet.
Okay.
I'm the most aggressive one out of all the people in my family.
All right. So now you got a habit. You're out the army. What are you doing?
I was robbing. I was robbing, and that cutting hair thing stopped. I didn't have the patience.
You wasn't scared of that someone was going to come back and do something to you?
That's what I'm saying. My father set the stage. He set the stage for me not to be scared of anything. My father ass whooping was a lot worse than anything anybody could have did to me out there. Seriously. That's why I did you see the movie Animal? He was a beast. He used to fight people, and the judges, the cops used to bet on him because he was a beast because his father set the stage by beating him, put him in the trunk of the car, shut the trunk down. Wow. So I was like, with my father, man, I was like, I didn't have any fear. Plus that drug take you there, man. I was built like that. Bring it.
When you got older, did you ever go back and did you ever fight your father as you got older?
He almost got it one time. And
one time?
Yeah, he almost got it. My first bid, I had a 15 in the tournament.
Your first bid?
Yeah, my first
prison.
Yeah, prison, not jail, prison.
What you go to prison for?
Armed robbery. And like I had a 15 in the, I don't know what y'all say down there.
Okay.
But we had a 15 in the tournament. That means you could do from 1 day to 15 years. And normally each 15 is a year on each 5. So I did 22 months on good behavior. I was a model prisoner. Figure that shit out, right? Yeah. And when I came home, I was feeling myself. I was in the gym. I was weighing like 180, 185 bench press, about 300 pounds. So I was tight. And my father, we was at my sister's house. And my father was arguing with my mother. He called her stupid in front of my nieces. My niece is this big. And I'm like, don't disrespect her like that in front of the kids. He said, who you talking to? I said, man, Pop, I'm talking to you. He said, man, get out of this house. I said, wait, first of all, this is not your house. It's Mary's house, my sister. And I said, you want to leave? I said, you can leave. I ain't going nowhere.
So your sister grown, she got a house, your father's there, he called her out her name.
He called my mama out her name, called her stupid. Wow. They was arguing, and I checked him. And he didn't like what I was checking him, so he told me to leave. I said, you leave. He acted like he was coming at me because my father kept a little raggedy 22 in his back pocket. He went in his back pocket. And I said, man, I'm not scared of you and that little raggedy gun. You probably ain't got no bullets in it anyway. You know, my mom said, baby, please go. He was coming at me. And my mother went like this. And I said, he ain't really trying to get around you. He don't want to get around you for real. He was hot. My father's Alabama boy too. He said, boy, I make it hot for you. I said, yeah. And my mom said, baby, please leave from me. I said, all right, Mom, I'm gonna leave. And I said, but I ain't scared of you. Pointing at his nose. He said, man, he wanted a piece of me that day. That's close as I became.
But he could have got it that day.
Oh, he would have got it that day. My mom would have knew it too. I was just fed up. The rage, man.
So so your mom and your dad, your siblings, they know you're on drugs?
I think my mom knew something was wrong. She didn't know exactly what it was. When I told her, she didn't believe it. When I was in jail, again, she didn't believe it. She said, So yeah, she said, no, you wasn't. I was out there, man. you know how they don't want to believe it because you know the way they raised you, like they think of where they went wrong at, you know. But yeah, after that, when I seen how easy it was, I went back a few more times.
Went back to jail?
Man, I went to jail 4 times
For the same thing?
Armed robbery and drugs. It's always armed robbery and drugs.
So you keep saying, did you know, were you recognizing yourself as a drug addict?
At that time, no. I loved getting high.
So today, looking back, what were some of the things as a drug addict you did to get drugs?
Man, listen, I sold sheetrock, I sold flour, I sold anything I could put in the bag to make you think it was drugs. I was selling alfalfa when I was in the military. Alfalfa, you put it from the hamster cage. I just take that stuff, put it in the bag, and sell it to soldiers, man, for weed. I used to get the BC powder for your toothache, sell it for speed. I didn't care, so I had the addict way before I even knew what addict was. I didn't know what addict was until I came to NA.
So they say. We say addicts in recovery.
Yeah.
Recovery.
Yeah.
We say addicts in recovery, but when we're out there, we're junkies and crackheads and dope fiends. And
sure.
So for a second, let's go there for 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
So and a lot of times we refer to people, alcoholics and all them names, we refer to them, we look at them as being homeless and jobless and penniless and dirty. And so did you ever reach those depths of addiction?
No, I always went to jail first. I always had a place to stay. And you know, like when it got to the point where my girlfriend get tired of me, said, "You got to do something about that." Then I went to detox a couple times. But I've always could have went to my sister's house one time, my other sister. So I stayed around, but I never was homeless like on the street. Because I would go to jail first, intentionally. I'd do something until I run out, then I go to jail. And like when I go to jail, it was like a breather for me. It was like, man, I'm back home now. You know, that's why a lot of times you hear me I share about like being home. The camaraderie that you have in jail when you come there, people give you shit. Like they show me more love than my own family sometimes, man. So when I leave this outside society thing, my family's in there.
I can relate to that. Sometimes it do be them. Sometimes it do be strangers and people that we meet along the way. That shows the most love.
Yeah.
So so were you?
Yeah, we on camera.
So were you? So how many kids do you have?
I got 4 boys and 1 girl.
4 boys and 1 girl. The same mother?
No, all of them got different kids. I mean, all different mamas. Thank you.
All of them got different mamas. So were you married?
I was married. Yeah, I was married. I got married in 86 till 91. My wife died, my first wife.
She passed away?
From cancer, yeah.
Were you using drugs then?
Oh, man, I came home and I met her when I came home 2 weeks later.
When you came home from prison?
The 3rd time. I had the 6 years that time.
Okay, and you came home.
Yeah.
And you met your second wife.
Yeah, well, she was a prostitute. I share that all.
And you fell in love with her.
Fell in love with her. Took off the market.
All right. and then y'all was together.
And we both started getting out together.
And she caught cancer.
She caught cancer around 91 when I came home. And let me see. I met her in 86. I came home in 85. And I met her around a couple months later. She was one of my, I was a trick, you know, and she did it so good, I took off the market. And then we was running together. Then I went back to jail. I did another, they call it a hard 3. I did 3.5 years on that bed. And she did every day with me, man. They came home. She had cancer. And I told her, I said, listen, she was getting high the whole time I was in jail. And I said, I'm not coming home to a wife that's getting high. I'm trying to get myself together. And I made her go into the program. So she did the detox, and they've seen they seen a lump on her breast, and they did a biopsy, and she had cancer. And the doctor gave her 5 months. I think 5 months to live or something like that. I'm like, whoa. Man, I came home, she died like 4.5 months. After me doing 3.5 years, and she did it with me. Dude, that took a lot out of me.
Were you there when she passed away?
Man, I was at the funeral. Had an Islamic janaza.
Were you at the hospital as she was?
Oh yeah, I was in the hospital. I was in the hospital every day. And then towards the end, I was leaving like quicker and quicker. I couldn't stand it no more. And like in the beginning, she was saying, she used to call me daddy. Daddy, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Towards the end, she said, I'm tired. She was ready to go. She wanted permission to let I want to go. So you know what I told her? I said, baby, just rest. Just rest. And she died 2:00 that morning. I had left the hospital, and they kept bringing her back. You know, had they boom, 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 and like, man, 50, 60 times.
And you were still using hard.
And no, I had just came home.
Oh yeah, you just came home.
I had just came home, but when she was in the hospital, then I started back. You know, I was giving up dirty urines and everything. And I would tell her, I said, man, my urine's dirty. He said, well, you better go into a detox. Because, you know, my wife was dying from cancer. So they gave me a break. So I went to 14-day detox. I went to a 7-day detox. None of that shit worked out. I did the 28 detox.
So did it hit you hard when she passed away?
Yeah, man. To the point I was numb. I was still on parole. They had me go see a therapist because they was wondering why I was so numb, and I wasn't like showing a whole bunch of emotions like they think I should have.
So when you say numb, you're talking about you wasn't, the emotions wasn't.
Nah, it didn't hit me until later.
Do you think you use hard more frequently?
No. I use. It don't have to be, you know, no certain. I use. I do like $200 of heroin a day, and it don't even get me high no more. It was like I got used to it. It was, you know, I mean, it don't have to be a certain like, oh, so and so died, so and so. No, when I use, I'm going to that limit.
So how many times you said you was married?
This is my second wife now.
This is your second wife.
Yeah.
But did you get into it? So is your that's the only one that don't pass? That's the only one that passed away, your second wife?
Yeah, I mean, I had girlfriends that passed away, but this my only had two. My second wife didn't pass away. My wife is in Mexico right now. That my first wife passed away.
Is this the one with your? Okay, is this the one you had your son with?
My son Jihad. He's 36.
Wow.
Yeah. I got her pregnant in prison.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. Railway State Prison. We used to go in the bathroom.
So how's you and your son relationship?
Oh, we cool, man, but it's far in between because he lived in Jersey and he was in the military. He did three years in military police. Mm-hmm. And we cool. We're not as cool as we should be because the distance and be in and out of jail before that. I went to jail a couple times while he was born. He's 36 years old. So yeah, I've been in and out of my kid's life all my life.
Is this the one that used to call the police? This the one you used to call the operator?
Yeah, you remember that, Jihad? Yeah, he used to call the operator. Actually, what my father had. Yeah. And you got good memory. I can't lie to you. That's right, Jihad.
Drugs.
Yeah. I got 4 boys and 1 girl, and my relationship with them is like scattered. Yeah, I mean it's better than what it was, but it ain't like how I want it to be.
So I remember you was saying one time that your wife was passing away and wanted you to bring some.
What? Wow, you remember that?
Some stuff up there.
Yeah.
And put it in her IV.
Yeah. I thought she was crazy, but I think her cousin did it. I think her cousin, I don't know, her cousin is real cool. Her cousin was going up all the time, so you know.
And
wow.
I brought that up,
mm-hmm.
and I brought that up because like on in this podcast, mm-hmm. I want them to see some people can look and they, even if they can't relate to that, they can see the insanity part of it. Like for your wife to be passing away and asking you to bring some dope up there and put it in her IV.
And you know what's crazy about that? I went back to the same detox that she was in when I told her to go to detox. I don't get a divorce. So she went to detox. And they put names on the wall of people that died from drugs. So I went in there and I seen her name on the wall, Zack Husain. I said, yo, what my wife's name doing on this wall? He said, man, she died from, I said, no, she didn't. I said, she died from cancer. They said, yeah, but she got cancer because she didn't do what she was to do because she was getting hot. Dude, that was a bitter pill for me to swallow. For the 14 days, I get up and keep reading my wife's name on the wall, man. Sahara, her name was Melanie, and her Islamic name was Zack Husain. Dude, that's, and you know, that made me like really like spaz out, man. When I came home, I would like, it's funny because I'm trying to think. I got clean in 01 and I've been clean ever since. But before that, I was going in and out of detoxes. But once I got into the 28-day program in Sea Caucus, I never turned back because I wasn't getting the message. I didn't know nothing about no basic tests and all of that. People was coming in on a 14-day detox and telling those few things, and we didn't do no like a month. When I did that month and I really got a hold to it, that message, and that's when I never went back out.
Okay, so I know a lot of us addicts. We reach a place where it's just dark. And we figure that the world would be a better place if we were not in that world.
Of course.
So have you ever reached that?
Of course I did. Not my last girlfriend. This girl didn't have no kids by me. She's dead too. People be like, damn, you be killing them? No. Me and her was together for like 11 years, from 91. About 92, I come right there in 91. Me and this girl hooked up in 92. We was together till about 98. And I started getting high. And it's funny, it's crazy how I started getting back high. And I wasn't with no program. It wasn't no program. I first got exposed to NA in 91.
Recovery.
No, I got exposed to NA, not recovery. I got exposed to NA because I was in a halfway house. And they made us go to meetings to sign our paper in 91. But I never stayed in the meeting. I stayed outside. And I was getting girls' phone numbers to get my paper signed. And I didn't get introduced to recovery until 01. Yeah, but before that, I was going back and forth to get my paper signed because I was in halfway house. We had to go, I think, 2 meetings a week or something like that. But this girl, it's funny because it's a long story. I'll make it short. Her son had died. Her son was 15 years old. He died in his sleep. And when her son died, we thought he was a virgin. Some girl popped up and said she was pregnant by him. I said, we ain't got no way of proving that. Back then, they wasn't doing a whole bunch of DNA and stuff like that. So what I did, I said, when the baby was born, I see the baby, and me and her brother was like this, I thought. Me and her brother did time together in prison. I knew her brother if I knew her. So we keeping stuff in confidentiality. I said, man, that baby don't look nothing like that boy. And he said, yeah, I was thinking the same thing. He went back and told his sister. Now, mind you, this is the only thing that she got to hold on to because her baby's gone. The only son she had. So whether the baby looked like him or not, to her, it looked like him. She hold on to something. Man, don't you know, our relationship fell apart. We was together like 6, 7 years. She said, how you gonna take away from me what I got? You know, that's my grandbaby, I said, listen, I'm sorry, but we was talking amongst men. He did that coward stuff and told you that. And she said, I hate you, get out of my life. So after that, we started falling apart. And I was clean. I was clean for about 7 years. without even going to meetings or none of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so hurt so bad about the relationship. I was running around looking, trying to get high. Nobody wanted to serve me because I looked like a police.
You found it though.
Oh, did I? I had to go to the next town over. Yeah. So, but I was in that place. I wanted to take myself out then. I just did that instead.
Was that the only time?
No, I went to
talking about while you were in addiction, was there a time where you wanted to?
I went to the Delaware River to drink rat poison. That's the one.
Rat poison?
Yeah, remember I told I wanted to drink rat poison? At the Delaware River, man. I wanted to drink rat poison and jump in the water.
Why you did it?
Intelligent fear.
You scared?
No, this is what I'm saying. God put in me an intelligent fear.
Okay.
Because he knew that I was going to be doing this right here. See, I couldn't kill myself when I wanted to kill myself. Because God had another plan. You know, like, I'm not a Bible thumper, a biblical person, but I remember when my mom said, God told Jeremiah, I knew you before you entered the womb. You know what I'm saying? So in correlation with that, God knew who I was before I entered the womb. Because you already had my work planned afterwards. Just had to walk the script, man. And I believe that today because so many of my friends are dead. And we walk the same walk. I see people get raped. I guess people get killed. People get stabbed. People get shot. And I was running the same rat race. Why not me? And you know, and that's why I look back in retrospect and see the evidence. I got too much evidence. I got too much evidence not to claim what I'm claiming. You know, and like that's why when I speak with a lot of passion because I know where I came from. This old lady used to say, y'all living on somebody else's prayer and borrowed time. You know? And I can relate.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I've been in situations. I remember I got shot and I was in prison and they had to send back for my medical records because they had to do a dominance because I got shot and they had to go in there.
Yeah.
And I remember I went back up there and I'm like, she was like, there go my angel. I said, what you mean? She told me that I died. I had to be resuscitated twice. You know I never knew that. Right. And I've heard the thing borrowed prayer.
Borrowed prayer, that's right. Somebody else.
And borrowed time.
Borrowed time, yeah. Dude, don't you know, me and my buddy used to, too. When me and my buddy got together in Jersey, they did not want to see us coming. Because we come to get it. I don't care who got it. And we're not taking no for an answer. He wanted me, there's only one place I never would go to stick up in New York. Because they'd kill you. He wanted me to go to New York with him to rob some drug dealers. And I said, nah, his name was Hassan. I said, nah, Hassan, I ain't going to New York. I ain't messing with New York, man. I ain't no fool.
Yeah.
You know, I ain't go. Check it out. So I remember this other guy named Roundtree.
Okay.
He told Roundtree, what you gonna do? Yeah, I go. He went. They went and announced the stick up in the shooting gallery. Y'all call them, what kind of houses y'all call them? Trap houses. When he announced the stick up, the guy shut the lights out. The guy that went to my place got killed in New York. His name was Roundtree. He got killed in New York, and that's what it been me.
When did you realize what's your clean? When did you get clean? What's your clean date?
2001, June 25th.
Wow, congratulations. How many years is that?
It'll be 23 years in June. God is good. We don't come short.
And that's good,
yeah,
man. So when did you realize, you said June of 2001?
2001.
When did you realize enough was enough? Like the week leading up to your detox, what was going on in that last month?
Man, yeah, I got it. I was laying in the bed smoking cigarettes, and my girlfriend was sitting there watching me like this, so I won't burn the house down. And I said, why you looking at me? I go, so you won't burn the damn house down, you know? And she said, you know, so I'm tired of shit. You got to go. She said, you got to do something. So that's when I went to detox. After I was going to kill myself at the Delaware River, I'm staying in there. She like, you reach a point in your life where everything is shut off. Everything. And like your insides is hollow. And when you cry, it's no longer cold tears, hot tears. See, I got to that point when my tears was like lava coming down my face, hot, and my heart was burning. I wrote a poem that night that maybe death would be better than life. And I still got that poem, and I read it all the time, man. I was contemplating. So I said, maybe it'd be better off dead, man. My son used to call Albert, have you seen my father? Missing in action, man. So I got to that point, and I went to the Delaware River giving drink rat poison. And I was walking back and forth, pacing, like in jail when they call you for parole or something. Okay. I'm pacing back and forth, Delaware River. And I kept looking at the water, right? Man, I wanted to just jump in there and drink the rat poison and just die. And then I got a spiritual awakening. That moment, God said, I did not create you for that. You bigger than that. You stronger than that. And I just got a sense like a ding. And I went to detox. I went to C-Cause detox day. I checked myself in for 28 days. They let me go in 24 days because they said they needed the bed and I was ready to go because of the way I was talking.
And you ain't looked back and you ain't used since that day.
I didn't even think about it. Used on a couple occasions when death of my family, I was on the strip. And I thought about it, but I did what y'all told me. I made a phone call.
So now you're out of detox. Where did you go after?
When I got out of detox, they had a recovery house for me to go to, and they said just keep calling until the bed open. I kept calling, no bed opened up. So I went back to my not that ex, but another ex-girlfriend. She was happy to see me come, and I stayed with her for a while and started by cutting hair in her barbershop because she owned a barbershop. And I stayed with her, and I stayed there, got on my feet. Then I got a job at the military base, cutting hair in Jersey. And we were still friends. We're still friends to the day.
Did you stay off the block?
Oh, yeah, I definitely go back to the block. I'm just working at the barbershop and back home, and going to meetings. Man, I was making meetings like every time I open up, like I make meetings down here. I was making meetings down there, man.
I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure it's been obstacles staying in recovery, a 12-step program, day after day for 20.
Obstacles?
Yeah.
No
obstacles.
No. I had two sisters die. I had I had sisters died last year. Around December 8th, we buried her. And my father died 2016. My other sister died in 2004. I have 2 or 3 years clean. So no, I had some deaths in the family since I've been here. But I have not think about like going out and using. I mean, it passed my mind when I'm on the block and I'm thinking about it at the time when my aunt died, because I was right there. But I never was on my way to pick up. I go to the car and shut the door and call my sponsor. I call my sponsor, yo, man, crying like crazy, man, nose snotty and everything. He said, man, what's wrong with you? I told him and told him what's going on. He said, what you gonna do? I said, man, I come back to Myrtle Beach. I went to family reunion the next day and flew out of Myrtle Beach.
How many years do your sponsor got clean?
My sponsor would have had 33 years, July the 19th.
Would have had.
My sponsor died. I told you that.
How long were you? How long did he sponsor you?
19 years.
So I know that was
Yeah, man. I'm still going through spiritual mourning. I haven't got another sponsor yet. I ain't got no sponsor. My sponsor just died in April. I do not have a sponsor, man.
Is that a good thing?
It all depends. It all depends. I'm not going to just go out there and use. I got enough time.
Okay. No, it ain't.
You asking me a question.
Okay.
Go ahead.
But the thing is, no, you're not going to go out there and use, but don't you still need a sponsor?
Oh, I'm going to get a sponsor, but I don't get a sponsor just to have a sponsor. I get a sponsor and I want to be able to relate to him at least somewhat with my sponsor. I'm not going to just get a sponsor because, I better get a sponsor. I think I'm going to use. I'm not that guy. And I've talked to predecessors. I talked to this guy from Anderson, matter of fact, is probably ex-sponsor, I think. And I was talking to him. And I'm not using him as an example, but he told me when his sponsor died, he didn't get another sponsor until 10 years. I said, 10 years? He said, no. He said, it's hard. I said, man, I ain't waiting no 10 years. But I'm just saying, people that sponsor that have died, they understand. You can't just go and get a sponsor. I just need a sponsor right now. No, I got a few people in mind.
What is a sponsor?
A sponsor is one who take you through the steps. He ain't a banker. He ain't a social worker. He ain't a counselor. He helped you through the steps. And and see, that's the thing about it. This is the only man in my life that ever told me he was proud of me. A couple of days ago, man, I was going through a book bag. I saw my book bag up, and I seen this obituary in the bottom, and I picked it up. I just looked at it, and tears came to my eyes because I didn't know how much things he was doing in the community. That man was a Bronze Star in the military. He was a counselor. He was a minister. He was this. He got a whole list of. I said, "Wow, I didn't even know." But no, I definitely need a sponsor. Take note. You definitely need a sponsor. Sponsor yourself. You got to fool for a sponsor.
Yeah.
I definitely need a sponsor, and I'm looking, but I ain't just gonna take anybody because I need a sponsor. You should know that.
So
I roll.
So how have you ever been able to stay here 22 years without using drugs?
Because I know who God is, and I know and I understand the literature. And like I listen, I'm not a Bible thumper or a quoter of the literature unless there's a circumstances that some come up and I say, oh yeah, but the literature said. And like I hear a lot of people talk literature and they misquote the literature. Just like I shared this at the convention. They say, man, I'm an addict, man. You gotta, surrender to the disease. The literature don't say that. If you read the book, A Journey to Continue, you read the part about the spiritual part of the I don't know the exact page, because I'm not one of those dudes that know the exact page. But you know what it says? It said early in recovery, we surrender to the disease. It said, but now we surrender to the process of recovery. So there's a place where you got to understand that we no longer using addict or addiction as an excuse. We do recover. We do get better. So I'm just glad that I fit the literature. And I understand that this program is a God-given program. I understand that. When I say that, understand. That's why I make meetings all the time. Not because somebody is cracking the whip saying, man, you better go to me, you better go to me. Man, you can't tell me I got to go to a meeting, man. You can't carry the addict. You can only carry the message. So matter of fact, my sponsor said, you didn't have a right to tell me to go to a meeting. That's between me and my creator. God makes you go to a meeting. If you want to go in your heart, you got to know what's good for you and what's bad for you. You got to feel it and know it. That's why so many relapses.
So if you say that we take suggestions in here, and someone tell you to go to a meeting, isn't that a suggestion?
Yeah, but if you don't take it, you pay for it. They can't make you go to a meeting. What the literature said. He said we carry the message, not the addict. A lot of people promote. We don't promote this. It's about attraction. And that's how I be talking about one of my friends all the time in the meeting. I ain't gonna say no name, but he said, man, come to me. You go to this meeting. I said, man, you go to that meeting. Man, I'm just telling you. Bro, it's about attraction, not promote. You know you can't tell an addict what to do. Come on, man. That's the best way to make them stay away from you. Start telling an addict what to do. No, you got to feel it in your heart and know this, what the literature say, this is the best life we ever lived. Better than any life we ever knew. And I believe that. You know why? Because I've lived that life they're talking about. If you go to the bitter end to get this drug, man, I was reading some literature the other day. Matter of fact, I was listening to on the speaker jam. There's people that used to sell their blood for the right literature. Yeah. The early predecessors, just like my sponsors, they used to sell his blood, the platinum, to get drugs. There's people that sold drugs to get literature for the right to basic text. That's the dedication.
Yeah. I sold plasma to get drugs.
My sponsor said he did too.
Man, you be laying there.
Yeah.
Man.
Wow.
And it's so crazy because you lay there all that time.
Really?
Get up, go cop, and then it's gone.
But the guys was doing that to get the literature, write the book.
Yeah, that's deep.
For paper,
that's deep.
for ink.
That's
yeah.
deep.
I heard that the other day. There's things that I hear on the tapes and reading the literature where I automatically get chills or a sense of gratitude and say like, wow, God, why me? I'm not confused, man. I know what my mission is. I know why God spared me.
And I really do believe that there's the only way that this program would have worked is if another addict wrote it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't work no
For us
other
buyers,
way.
no.
Yeah, it wouldn't have worked. No, it wouldn't have had the success rate that it has now.
They wouldn't have the empathy, man.
And someone can look at the one person that was here and died, but it's millions of people in recovery.
That's right. That's right.
Millions of people that staying here.
Yeah.
And carrying the life-saving message.
Mm-hmm.
So, what has recovery done for you?
Man, it gave me a whole new way of looking at it. It's changed my narrative. It changed my perception, man. I'm like, where was this at? Way before I started going to jail back and forth. I went to jail 4 times. If I knew what I knew now, I don't think I would have went to jail that many times. But like my sponsor used to say, but if you didn't go that many times, you wouldn't have what you have now, probably. Because like he said, you change one day out of your story, you will be the man you are today. Because now I got a resume. I can go to probably Jay Rubin and help a lot of people. And I was talking to Mike the other day, your sponsor. I said, Mike, I downloaded the application, man, and I'm not happy with it. I don't feel comfortable with it. Because they ask you what last 6 states you live in. They ask you what charge you have. Then they ask you what was your fractions in the jailhouse. What that got to do with anything? And I'm looking at it like this. Okay, I'm volunteering myself for trouble. I want to help people, but I'm not gonna put myself under the gun like that. I seen a guy 3 years ago robbing banks in Colombia. A picture on one paper. He looked just like me. Bald head and glasses, look just like me. If you put him in front of a jury and me, they'll say it was me. That's how close it was. So okay, now they got all my stuff on record, right? I submitted all this stuff. They ask you your license, they ask for your social security number, they ask you for everything. Okay, now somebody fit my descriptions robbing something around here. And they said, wait a minute, I just gotta go back with Jerry numbers. He got armed robbery. Let me see, Let me pull this up. Yeah, that's him. Now I'm in jail with somebody who could look alike. And I volunteered information. No, not me. That's just my story. I told Mike.
But you've been in prison 4 times, jail, I don't know how many times, and for them to let you into the jail.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
For you to even be on a list to go into the jailhouse.
In Jersey, I was doing H&I, me and Jimmy. He took me back and forth. They don't take you through it like this, though. They just actually show your ID, your license, and your ID card, 2 IDs, and then you go in. They ask you for another job. Where you living 6 times before this? What state you lived in? Put your infractions in the jail. Why? It's great now. It's too much information. I'm fixing it on. I downloaded it to my Office Depot and picked it up the other day. I filled it all out till I got to the part about what was your infractions in jail, blah, blah. Even though I only had 1 infraction in jail.
So I heard a saying that if I would have wrote a list out of things I expected to get out of recovery when I first got into recovery, I would have been shortchanging myself.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yes, very true.
Why?
I look at it. My wife, you met my wife. My wife is an angel, man. I would have never picked her. Never. Me and my wife been together 6 years already. Married 5. We never had an argument yet. Never. We have a little spat, but it'd be like joking and we laugh at each other. My last wife, I had to hide my drugs from her. I used to have to hide my drugs and I had to hide my wallet. At night that she go, my wallet, steal my money and go, God. Man, my wife, the biggest problem I got with my wife, is hold hands at night while we sleep. That's the problem I got. I'll take that any day. And not only that, I never dreamed of owning my own business.
Business owner.
Yeah, never dreamed of that. I come to meetings every day. Why? Because I got people running my shop. Listen, when I was at the meeting today, I was getting irritated. My phone kept going off because the lady at Boost Mobile was saying the music is too loud in your shop, and I'm just calling you because you're the owner. That should sound good. I got 2 Latinos working there now, paying me rent in my shop, and I can go to meetings once. I can take off a month and still get paid. Residual income. And I'm thinking, I'm going to another shop. Put 2 more in there. So like there's things that I'm doing today that
if it wasn't for recovery,
oh man,
I'll be
dead. I'll be dead. And you know, not only that, but like my wife been in Mexico now for 2 weeks. Dude, I ain't cheated on her. I ain't cheated on my wife, never. First time in history that I didn't cheat on a woman. I mean, I think I'm gonna. I didn't think I'm gonna sound small. I say it quickly for my wife to be listening to stuff like this. I think about it, but I don't do it. You know, they say you can think all you want, but just don't do it. I think about smacking Beyonce on the eye, but I better not do it. When times get rough as far as money, I still think about things. Like my man Melvin from Chicago said, you can think all you want. You go ahead and express the way you feel and see what happens. I can think whatever I want to think. I can't control my thoughts, but you just don't do it.
Just don't act on it.
Just don't act on it. And that's why, you know, recovery has been a lot. I think I call it a new wave recovery. Recovery is a lot softer than it was when I came in. I ain't never heard nobody tell me, shut up and sit down. No, I heard about it, but I ain't never heard nobody say that. I might talk that stuff, but I ain't never heard nobody say it. But we give people tough love. And when I talk crazy to my sponsor, God bless his soul, you know what he used to say? Okay, then what you gonna do after that?
What do you mean tough love?
For instance, I used to always complain about the women I was living with, early recovery. Oh man, she did it. You know my sponsor say? My sponsor could say 2 words and bring me back to sanity. He said, well, get your own place. If you don't like what's going down, get your own place. Yeah. If you daughter crying, what the baby gonna do? He said, man, come on, man, change it. If you don't like what's going on, change the narrative.
So if
you guys taught me that.
So if this tape was to get into the hands of an addict, what, in closing, what's the message that you, looking in that camera right there, what's the message that you would tell that addict and they're struggling?
The message that I would tell them is I've been there, I've done that. Hang on, it get better, but you need some help. You got to change your perception. And a lot of times we can't change that perception because we so caught up in the grip. First thing is get detoxed. Because as long as that dope is calling your name, you ain't thinking about nothing that we say. Once you get detoxed and get some clarity, and then you can start getting new information. Because what I like about the program is a lot of information. It's the information that I get here that changed my life, and that I believe in information and what I see, the changes that I see around me. You know, you can talk to a person till you're blue in the face, but if they don't see what you're talking about in your life, it's just like casting pearls to a swan. They got to see the evidence in your life. That's why he says it's about promotion. It's not about promotion, it's about attraction. Let me see what you do. Let me see what you do when somebody dies in your family. Let me see how you act when your father passed or your sisters passed, or when you don't feel like going to the meeting, you go anyway on a regular basis. Man, it's not about talking, and it's about living in it. This is my life. I heard somebody share today. This is my life. Do it. Sometimes I be going to the store and I end up at an NA meeting. You say, oh man, I was going to the store. My car take me right to the NA meeting because I've been doing it so long. And I'm like, man, damn, I was going to Sonic and I'm in Hugs. That's a good thing. Because because it used to be the same way like when I used to get out. My car take me right to the block. Or when I was tricking, take me right to Ocean Boulevard. You know, when I first came to Myrtle Beach, I found out what Ocean Boulevard was and the other spot you probably before I found with me. Because, you know, that's what I was doing. So, you know, it's like sharing clean, living dirty, man. We grow up in this process, man. But, you know, for the addict that's still sick and suffering, man, there's a way out.
There is a way out.
There is a way out. Freedom is not free. You got to work for it, man.
Help becomes available when you ask for it.
That's right. And like people be saying, like, man, you don't know my story. You don't know my story. I did 15 years in prison, 3 detoxes, 3 halfway houses, contemplating suicide. But God had another plan.
And how many years you got clean?
22 years, and it'll be 23 It'll be 23 years in June.
Wow.
God willing.
We do recover.
That's
Thank
right.
you so much
Just
for
for
coming
today.
on to the show.
It's a pleasure.
My name is Lewis.
Zack H.
And
You
this
can call me Anif.
and this is Ain't No. Hold on, before we go,
Yeah.
what's the name of your business and what's the name of your business?